Morning everybody, this is Jeff Williams from Veterans United Against Suicide. Decided to do another reminisce about the Falklands as it's 40 years I've done a couple of these videos and they've been really popular and helped a lot of people understand a little bit more about the Falklands. I'm going to jump forward to I think it was probably about a week or 2 weeks into the campaign where 4-2 basically did a little bit of a bunny hop forward across uncharted ground to support the SAS, who had just taken the Argentinians on Mount Kent and done a very good job, to be honest with you. But my recollection of it is quite interesting. So do forgive me, it's a long time ago, and it has been something I've tried to forget, but obviously now it's at the front of my mind. I'm thinking about it regular and dreaming about it a lot as well, which is helping me. So I thought I'd take the opportunity, like I say, to go through the story. So 4-2 got the call, we were moving, and we were so chuffed about that. And we got the message that there was going to be a fighting patrol, night one, which was most of them were, and we were waiting for how we were going to move. They decided to move us by seeking helicopter. So one of the roles I actually had was what they call the LZMT team, which was the landing zone marshalling team. Not that we did a lot of marshalling, as you would normally see it, with big bright armbands on and stuff. It was very tactical. Anyway, I remember preparing the LZ, and then we hear the helicopters in the distance coming in. I can't remember how many there was now. There was more than two, probably three, I can't remember. And the guys came up to me, Mick Eccles came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder. He said, "Well, where do you want us?" I said, "Just stay here, mate." So they lined up in their stick ready to hit the helicopter. And there were quite a few of my good friends, because I was very K Company orientated. I know Jack was there, Jack Parnell. And helicopter landed and it was pitch black, just one light on the bottom basically of the helicopter. It's quite eerie. And it landed. I went up to the helicopter, make sure everything was okay. He said, "Yep, put them on." So marshalled the guys forward, put them into the helicopter, closed the door. And as I closed the door, I remember saying to them, "Go on guys, go and give them one." And all the guys were really fired up, and I got that look in their eyes. Come on, let's get this done. And then the helicopter took off. They all loaded up, and then they took off. And we went back, and they said, "Right, you'll be moving tomorrow." I said, "Great, okay, no problem. Let the guys sort it out first, and then we'll move forward." I said, "Fine, all right." So next thing I know, comes on the radio that the SAS are still fighting on the Mount Kent, and it's not safe for the helicopters to land, so they come back. So then we had to offload the guys again. They were all fired up, ready for battle. It was just unbelievable atmosphere. So we had another 24 hours and decided to do the mission the next day. And again, we went through the same routine. We put the people in the helicopter and off they went. And this time it was clear, and they took the whole ridge, or the whole mountain, and secured the area for the remainder of 4-2 Commando to move forward. So we moved forward, and we got on in. I think I mentioned in the last video, the weather was horrendous. We're absolutely freezing to death. It was just terrible. We hadn't got a kit with us. Nobody had any Bergens. It was just fighting rig. So we've been up there. We've got no rations, horrendous conditions. And then the CO come up to me personally, because I was the go-to guy in this situation. He said, "Jeff, get your team together." He didn't call me Jeff, call me Corporal Williams. He said, "Go back and get the BV 202s, because we used the BV 202s as a command centre, and they were in a mess. Like I say, we were out in the open. It was awful. There was no shelter. Nobody had any kit or anything. So we had to patrol. I had to patrol my guys back across ground that had not been cleared. So there was potential airstrikes, there was potential enemy positions, and there was potential minefields, and it was quite daunting. So got the guys together. They wanted, I think it was about 6. So I think I got to a section of 8, but there was 6 that needed to be able to drive the vehicles. So off we went, and we'd used the BV 202s in Norway just recently, so we all knew how to drive them anyway. So off we went back, and we had this patrol, and it was just absolutely on edge all the way. I can't tell you, it wasn't frightening. It was, you had to have your wits about you. Every step was a potential disaster, and it took us ages to get back, absolutely ages, but we did get back eventually. And then we had to get the vehicles, which were ready. We got in the vehicles, and then we had to go over the same ground again in the light, and we were warned, look, you're a sitting target. We still don't know that area's clear. They gave me an officer in my vehicle who spent the whole time stood up with the hatch open, just in case, spotting for aircraft. We had another guy in the second vehicle with a mounted machine GPMG on it. Again, he was doing the same. And we had to do this horrendous journey back to Mount Kent. Like I say, totally exposed, expecting to be hit any moment, thinking this is it. You know, this is not good. This is a bit suicidal, to be honest with you. So anyway, we drove back. Anyway, all I remember, and this, somebody who knows the Falklands better than me probably knows where this place is, but we're driving along a track really slowly, checking everything out, like I said, and we come to some water, and we stopped at the water, and the tracks went into the water, like forded into the water. Well, I couldn't see the other end of this lake, so I'm, you know, being a fisherman and that, I think, God, that's going to be quite deep. It looked really deep. So anyway, we're looking at the maps, and there it is. The path goes in, and the path goes out the other end. So we're looking at it, and I'm thinking, nah, I ain't driving through that. I haven't got a bloody submarine. I don't be called Captain Nemo or anything if I sink this bleeding vehicle. Oh, that was something else as well. The vehicles were absolutely topped up. We had Bergen strapped to them for the guys. We had rations in there. We had ammunition. We had the Charles Gustafs on there. It was horrendous. It was absolutely packed to pieces. So I think the officer was Captain Spencer, if I remember rightly. And he turned around to me and he went, right, come on then, we're going to have to do it. And I went, sir, come on. He went, there was no other way. We can't drive around it. We've got to go across it. That's where we're going. Guys are relying on us. I said, come on then, let's go. So off we went. I can't tell you how that felt. Watching the water creep up and creep up and creep up. But you know what? I've never experienced it in my whole lifetime. The whole lake, all the way across, was no deeper than 18 inches, 2 feet. And we got across. And then we called the other vehicles across, so they came across, said just follow us exactly, and then they came back. And then when we got to the bottom of Mount Kent, there's what they call rock runs. Now these BV 202s are not brilliant over rocks, to say the least. The shear pins used to go in, and the tracks would just go limp, and you couldn't use them. So we had to drive up this. We got to the bottom, and I got out the vehicle, and I said, look, I'm going to find a route. So tracked out a route, eventually sussed one out, went back and got the vehicles again, all sat there, sitting targets the whole time, and drove them to the top. And then when we got to the top, the CO and Commando HQ were there, They couldn't wait to get inside the bloody vehicles because heaters in them and stuff like that. But all the radio comms were there and everything. The signaller jumped in the back. They cammed them all out. We pushed them right against the rocks and spent a long time camming them out, making sure they couldn't be seen from the air. And that's what we did. So that's just another little story where, you know, things could have gone tragically wrong. Those vehicles could have been destroyed. That would have been Commando HQ's comms knackered. All the Bergens we took up there so guys could have their kit, you know, clean, dry kit. The rations we took up there, we took fuel up there, we took ammunition up there. Everything we could get on them vehicles, we took up. And I led them. So I was chuffed about that. I know I read Nick Vaux's book, and one of the guys I took back with me was a guy called Tug Wilson. Now, he was the CO's driver, and he got a mention. But did Jeff get a mention? Nah, of course not. But anyway, you know, it was great. And we then we went firm on the top of the mountain for a while, sent out fighting patrols every day, recce patrols. I used to be involved in the defence section, defence troop, which was doing the clearance patrols in the morning and in the evening and stuff like that. And there's a few more stories that can go on from there, but that was us established on the top of Mount Kent. That's my little story. Hope you enjoyed it. You know, if anybody else wants to know any more, just message me. I'm Jeff Williams from Veterans United Against Suicide. Falklands veteran, as I've mentioned, and a warrant officer, Royal Marines, when I retired. And that's me. Simple story, but true. That I remember anyway. Please don't come back. Excuse me. Don't come back and say, "Oh, that ain't right," because that's my reality of it. That's how I remember it. There could be some difference, but generally speaking, that's how it was. I'm so proud of the guys, and you know, when we look back on it now, we encouraged a generation to be proud of their British forces. And it's sad for me, really, when I look at where we are today. 40 years ago, we were the best thing since sliced bread. We were heroes, even though I never felt like a hero, but that's what was levelled at us. Now, we're in a mess where, you know, we've got veterans with major issues, mental health issues and stuff like that. And it appears at times that nobody cares. And you know, that's not good. But let's focus on the positives. The 40th anniversary of the Falklands, and I'm going to say it, I honestly believe that we put the great back in Great Britain. This country was feared around the world, just very similar to when the SAS took out the Iranian embassy. The lift that gave the prestige of being a British military man or woman was massive. There we go. Look after yourself. Jeff Williams from Veterans United Against Suicide. All the best, and thank you. Bye-bye.